Remember being a kid, spending $15 or so, which was basically a small fortune to you, choosing to buy an album and coming to the awful realization that this shit is ass. But sometimes there'll be a song or two so good that it was almost worth it. Keyword almost. Here's 5 great songs on 5 shitty albums. Mötley Crüe's Afraid from Generation Swine. Unlike some other tracks I'll soon mention, I can totally see why people hate this song. To many, it's emblematic as to why Generation Swine just doesn't work as an album. The whole "How do you do, fellow kids" to the industrial crowd from cock rockers of yesteryear is a bit of a weird pill to swallow. But part of the reason I believe this song kind of works is that a lot of industrial music was also quite theatrical, not unlike bands like Mötley Crüe. Look at 9 Inch Nails in their early career, or Skinny Puppy in general. So I think it works better than it probably should. Maybe there's some tonal whiplash, but I think in an abstract way it works. It's like some sort of science experiment. You're watching a titan of hair metal squirm under a microscope. But I don't just like Afraid for the weird sort of novelty. I genuinely love the hook. I think Vince's voice actually blends quite well with the construction equipment backing him up. The lyrics are ones I can relate to because I have been friends with and been in relationships with people who are just in general scared, whether that be of love or life in general. And that bass intro goes hard. But God only knows whether or not that was even Nikki. And Mr. Six, I believe Donna D'Errico was more afraid of you than she was of love. Twisted Sister, The Fire Still Burns from Come Out and Play. Now, not only is this a fantastic song from a shitty album, it's actually my favorite Twisted Sister song, period. It borders on speed metal with enough backing vocals and atmosphere to push it over the top, along with Dee's unforgettable performance, AJ Perro's thunder strumming, and a pretty memorable solo from Eddie Fingers Ojeda. This is honestly the best sound this band ever had on record. This song, I mean, not the rest of Come Out and Play, that's for sure. It was produced by Dieter Dierks, and on this track he brings a similar energy that can be heard on the Best Scorpions records that he also was involved with. A big criticism I've heard for Twisted Sister's classic records is the production. While I don't totally agree, I can at least understand it. It's more AC/DC than it is Ozzy, that's for sure. But The Fire Still Burns is one of the few times that the sound is simply big enough for this band. One of the main problems with Come Out and Play was that Dee was getting too comfortable to really push himself with his songwriting after the band finally made it. But this song sounds like he still had more to prove. It's a pity that besides The Fire Still Burning, he didn't really have much else to say besides be cruel to your school. Danzig, Ashes, from Danzig 5. Now this was an album with a lot of potential, at least for me. Danzig 4 is my favorite Danzig record, and I love the subtle industrial elements on it. But just like I can add too much salt to a meal and ruin it, the same goes for industrial and Danzig. There's some genuinely great songs destroyed by the production, but not Ashes. It's one of few instances of Glenn's voice not being put through a boss metal zone. And it's so welcome as this was right before his voice started to really deteriorate. It's a different kind of performance from him. A lot of the time he's singing much higher than we've ever heard before, accessing his head voice instead of just singing from his diaphragm the whole time. And I wish we could have gotten more vocal performances like this from Glenn before his voice went the way of the dodo. You're always on my mind. The production does have some light industrial elements, but I honestly feel more of a trip-hop sort of influence, with a dour beat, glitchy synths, and soft, somber vocals. Glenn likened the song with a, quote, happy depression, and that descriptor fits for maybe the last truly great Danzig song. Ace Frehley, or Frehley's Comet, Insane, from Second Sighting. Now, Ace's solo debut outside of Kiss was pretty alright, honestly. He still had his chops, the songs were good, if corny as hell, and his backing band was pretty damn great. John Regan, may he rest in peace, on bass, Anton Fig on drums, and Todd Howarth on rhythm guitar and occasional lead vocals. And he's awesome on tracks like Breakout, Something Moves, and Calling to You. But unfortunately for his sophomore, Ace and his band were rushed and/or Ace was too out of his mind, so Todd wrote more songs that I just plain and simple don't like. They're way too AOR, and even most of Ace's songs have no real meat on their bones. With the exception of the opener, Insane. It's honestly one of his all-time best. It's not doing too much new for him, but it's got his swagger and licks for days. It's a little autobiographical of Ace's life and career. I don't think many would argue that the guy's a fucking nutcase.
Turn around. Look, it's rock and roll!
But he takes this disparaging comment and runs with it. Like, sure, I'm nuts, but bitch, I'm still Ace Frehley. Combine that with an amazing solo and a stupid catchy chorus that is up there with Ace's best, you have an awesome start for an album that has like 3 good songs on it, including a cover. Metallica, Until It Sleeps from Load. Now this is a big one. Like with The Parade, I totally get why people hate this one. If you discovered Metallica from their thrash stuff in the 80s or even the Black Album, this is like John Waters making a family film. Oh wait, no, that actually happened. But I was introduced to Metallica by my dad when I came home to visit, and he said, "We're gonna watch Metallica, boy." He had the Metallica videos DVD, and I just fell in love with the band almost immediately. I definitely preferred songs like One and Sad But True, but even back then, I still liked a lot of the later stuff on that DVD. I could see the progression even as a kid. As I got older, I can sympathize a bit more with the early fans, and while I don't like Load as an album that much, this song still feels like Metallica. It has the vibe, even if it's not really metal. It's still dark, eerie, and heavy enough to get a crowd of people to give the horns. I especially love the lyrics in the song, they're just so twisted.
You beat it once, and now it stays.
This just feels like something the band genuinely wanted to do. I'm not saying you have to like it, but calling it a sellout is a little bit silly in my opinion. Metallica could have farted on a CD and had it sell in the 90s. They didn't need to sell out. Iron Maiden, Fear of the Dark from Fear of the Dark. Now with this new Iron Maiden tour, they're sticking to the first 9 albums before Bruce Dickinson left for a few years. Everyone is of course happy that they're only playing stuff from the golden era, but people seem to forget that it's really only the 80s. There's nothing from No Prayer for the Dying, and only the title track from Fear of the Dark is even on the setlist. Which, to be fair, it is a monumental song that they've been playing live at pretty much every show since this album came out. But in my opinion, this song is maybe their last truly great Iron Maiden song. It doesn't feel like a retread of their 80s epics. The song's angrier and evokes feelings of paranoia. It has such great atmosphere. The track consumes you like a light being snuffed out. Bruce has at one point said that Steve wrote the song because he really was afraid of the dark, and you can kind of tell.
Sometimes when you're scared to take a look at the corner of the room, you sense that something's watching you.
It almost feels reminiscent of childhood memories of trying to sleep in a darkened room, scared out of your mind of the monsters that dwell within the shadows. I remember staying up for hours as a kid because I was just so damn scared of the dark. And to this day, I still get the creeps if I ever have to walk home alone at night. In my opinion, a big reason why the song works is that it taps into a damn near universal feeling. And I think that despite this album not being too amazing, this song alone was an awesome way for Bruce to say goodbye to Iron Maiden for those 10 or so years. But that's my list. Did you agree? Disagree? Do you have any good picks that I neglected to mention? Leave them in the comments, and I'll see you soon for the next exclusive video.